All right, welcome. Today we're going to demystify COBIT. It's this really powerful framework that's designed to answer one of the toughest questions in business. How do you make sure your technology is actually helping you win and not just, a giant money pit? We're going to break down how it builds that crucial bridge between IT and your real business goals. So yeah, let's just dive right in. But before we get to the solution, let's start with a question that pretty much everyone, from the CEO to the help desk, asks at some point. Why is managing IT so ridiculously hard? It just feels like a constant uphill battle, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's really dig into that. We're going to look at the biggest challenges, the kind of problems that pretty much every single business out there is wrestling with when it comes to their tech.
So first up, the most basic challenge of all, just keeping the lights on. In today's world, it's simple. When a system goes down, the business goes down right along with it. The impact is instant. Customer service can't help anyone, sales just stop, and your reputation takes a serious hit. It's this constant, high-stakes game of whack-a-mole.
Next, we have what I call the value problem. We pour these huge investments into IT projects, but let's be honest, how often do they actually deliver what was promised? You know the story. The requirements were fuzzy, it got way more complex than anyone thought, and suddenly you've got a project that's over budget and doesn't really provide any tangible business value.
And that, of course, brings us to challenge number 3, the runaway costs. It's funny, right? A single piece of hardware might seem cheaper than ever, but the total spend on IT just keeps climbing and climbing. You've got these complex software licenses, endless maintenance contracts, and outsourcing deals. It's no wonder top managers feel like the costs are just completely out of control.
And finally, there's just the sheer mind-boggling complexity of it all. Technology changes at lightning speed, and most businesses are juggling a dizzying number of different suppliers and service providers. Just trying to manage all these different systems and relationships is a massive challenge all by itself. So, with all these challenges piling up, how in the world do you get control? Well, this is exactly where COBIT comes into the picture. The best way to think of it is as a bridge that finally connects the world of business strategy with the day-to-day world of IT operations. At its heart, what COBIT does is provide a common language, and this is so crucial. It lets you translate those big, high-level business goals into concrete, specific IT actions. It makes sure that when the CEO is talking about growing market share, the IT team knows exactly which systems and processes they need to focus on to make that happen. Now, this right here, this is the core principle. You'll notice it's not about tech for the sake of tech. The whole point, the entire focus, is on providing the information the business needs to win. And to do that, you have to manage your IT stuff, your resources, using a structured, organized set of processes. That is the bedrock of COBIT. Okay, so let's break this thing down. We're going to look at the 3 fundamental pillars of the framework. If you can get your head around these, the rest of it just clicks into place. And this diagram just illustrates it perfectly. You see, you've got the business requirements. That's what drives everything. Those requirements are met by your IT resources, and then those resources are managed by your IT processes. It's this continuous, interconnected cycle. Let's take a quick look at each one. So, when we say IT resources, what are we really talking about? Well, COBIT's view is really broad here. It's not just the blinking lights on the servers in the data center. It's the data itself, the software, the actual buildings they're in, and most importantly, the skilled people who make it all run. Now, how do you manage all those different resources? That's where IT processes come in. COBIT basically gives you a detailed map of everything you need to do to run an IT department, and it organizes it all into 4 key areas: planning, building, running, and monitoring. It's all about bringing some serious order to the chaos. All right, now we get to what I think is the most important part of the whole framework: the business requirements. This is the why behind everything else. What does the business actually need from its information to be successful? COBIT groups all those needs into 3 big categories. First, there's quality. Is the information any good? Second, fiduciary requirements, which is just a fancy way of saying, can we trust it and are we following the rules? And finally, of course, security requirements. Let's look at a few of the most critical criteria inside these. First up, let's talk performance, and the big one here is effectiveness. Is the information IT is providing actually relevant? Does it actually help the business do what it needs to do? Because if it doesn't, everything else is just wasted motion.
And the other side of that performance coin is efficiency. It's not enough to get the right information. You've got to deliver it in the best way possible, using the least amount of time, money, and resources.
Then you have the absolute core pillars of security. First, confidentiality. This one's pretty straightforward, but it's absolutely critical. Is your sensitive information being protected from people who have no business seeing it?
Next up is integrity. In other words, can you actually trust your data? Is it accurate? Is it complete? Is it valid? Because, let's face it, decisions made on bad data are just bad decisions. Simple as that.
And finally, availability. And this brings us right back to where we started, to that very first challenge. The information has to be there when the business needs it to do its job. If the system is down, the information might as well not exist.
Okay, so we've looked at the challenges, we've seen the core components, and we've talked about the information criteria. Now let's put it all together and see what the full COBIT governance cycle looks like in action.
And here it is. This slide shows you the whole system, the whole shebang. Just follow the flow. See how it all starts at the top with your business objectives? Those goals drive your IT governance strategy. From there, the COBIT framework manages all of your IT resources through those 4 domains we talked about: plan, build, deliver, and monitor. The whole goal is to produce information that meets those critical business requirements. And then you can see how monitoring feeds right back to the top, creating this continuous loop of improvement. It's a complete, top-to-bottom system for making sure everyone's on the same page.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to take away from all this. Looking at this framework, just take a second to ask yourself, in your own organization, how well do your IT processes truly connect and serve your core business objectives? It's a powerful question to think about.